Electromagnetic induction. In the previous section of the chapter, we saw that if we keep an electric conductor in a magnetic field such that the direction of the current flowing through the conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then a force is exerted on the conductor. Because of this force, the conductor moves. But suppose if we now look at it a different way, what we saw in the previous two experiments, that if an electric conductor is moving in a magnetic field or the magnetic field around a stationary conductor is changing, what will happen? In that case, it is observed that in both the cases, due to change in the intensity of magnetic field near the conductor, current will be induced in the conductor. This is called as electromagnetic induction. We define it as it is a process in which a conductor is put in a particular position and magnetic field keeps changing, or the magnetic field is stationary and a conductor is moving. In both these cases, a kind of electricity is generated which is called as electromagnetic force, and this process is called as electromagnetic induction. Faraday's law of induction. Electromagnetic induction can be explained with the help of Michael Faraday's law. Whenever the number of magnetic lines of force passing through a coil changes, current is induced in the coil. This is known as Faraday's law of induction. The current produced in the coil is called the induced current. When a rectangular loop is brought near a solenoid coil and if the current is switched on or off in the solenoid coil, current is used in the loop. Similarly, when the current in the solenoid coil is increased or decreased, current is induced in the loop. To understand the direction of the current induced as well as the magnetic field and the force, we have Fleming's right-hand rule. When will the induced current in the electrical conductor coil be maximum? It will be maximum when the direction of motion of the electric conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So to understand this concept, we see Fleming's right-hand rule. According to this rule, or this rule is defined as stretch the thumb, the index finger and the middle finger in such a way that they will be perpendicular to each other. Look at the diagram. In this position, the thumb indicates the direction of the motion of the conductor, the index finger the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger shows the direction of the induced current. This rule is known as Fleming's right-hand rule. Direct current and alternating current. In direct current, the electric charge or the current only flows in one direction, that is from the cell to the cell. Whereas alternating current changes its direction periodically. A current changing in magnitude and direction after equal intervals of time is called as alternating current. So we see that in case of direct current, the magnitude as well as the direction remains constant, but in case of alternating current, the magnitude as well as direction changes periodically. The direct current can increase, can be stable, or can also be zero, but it does not oscillate. As you can see in the graph that is given, the graph of alternating current is like a curve going up and down, whereas in case of direct current, it can increase, it can decrease, it can remain stable. So look as shown in the diagram. It is showing very clearly that in the graph that alternating current is oscillatory, whereas in case of direct it can be maximum reduced to zero or it can be constant. The oscillation of the alternating current occurs in a sinusoidal manner with time, and hence it is shown as a symbol like a curve or like a line down S. Direct current flows in one direction, but the alternating current flows in periodic manner. In one cycle, it goes forward and reverses it. In India, the power station generating electricity, one cycle changes in 1/50th of a second. That is, the frequency of AC is 50 Hz or 50 cycles per second. Electric generator. Electric generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. When the coil of electric generator rotates in a magnetic field induces a current in this coil. This induced current then flows into circuit connected to the coil. There are two types of electric generator, AC generator and DC generator. The one that we are seeing in front of us and the one that we are learning is called as AC generator. What is an electric AC generator? A generator which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy in the form of alternating current is called as AC generator. Now look at the diagram and let us see the construction first. A copper wire coil ABCD is kept between the two poles of a magnet. The two ends of the coil are connected to the conducting rings R1 and R2 via the carbon brushes. Both the rings are fixed on the axle, but there is a resistive coating in between the ring and the axle. The axle is rotating with the help of a machine from outside. Because of this, the coil ABCD starts moving. That means we move the axle with the help of some outside force, and because of this movement, the coil starts moving inside the magnetic field. The stationary carbon brushes B1 and B2 are connected to a galvanometer which shows the direction of the current in the circuit. Once the axle is rotated, the branch AB goes up and the branch CD goes down. That is, the coil ABCD starts moving clockwise. So you move the axle, and if you can see that AB is always connected to B1 or R1, and whereas CD is connected to the other side, that is B2. Now in this case, when you start moving it, the wire starts moving in such a manner that AB goes up and CD goes down, and according to Fleming's right hand rule, the electric current is produced in the branches AB and CD in the direction A to B and C to D. Thus the current flows in the direction A to B to C to D as shown in the diagram with the help of arrows. In the external circuit, what happens? In the external circuit, the current flows from B2 to B1 through the galvanometer. If instead of one loop of coil, a coil consisting of several turns is used, the current of magnitude of several turns will flow. What it means is, here we have taken ABCD. Instead of taking only one wire, if we are taking a number of wire, then there will be more current generated. After half rotation, the branch AB takes the place of branch CD and the branch CD takes the position of branch AB. That means they come up and in that particular position. Therefore, now the induced current goes from D to C, C to B and B to A. Though it's moving in the clockwise direction, but the direction of the current will become different. But the branch BA is always connected with B1 and DC is always connected with B2. Hence, in the external circuit, the current will start flowing from B1 to B2. That is in the opposite direction as compared to the previous half rotation. This repeats after every half rotation and an alternating current is produced. This is what is called as a AC generator. So what is happening in this case? In this case, as AB is taking the place of CD and CD is taking the place of AB, the flow of the current reverses every turn and we get what is called as alternating current. This is what is called as a electric generator or electric AC generator. We also get DC generator. In case of a DC generator, what happens? The generator which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy in the form of only direct current is called as a DC generator. In this case, the DC does not change the direction in the external circuit. To get this, a split ring is used instead of a slip ring. Here we were using a round slip ring, and here in case of that, in DC generator we use what is called as a split ring, similar to an electric motor. Because of this arrangement, the branch of the coil going upward is always in contact with one brush and the branch going downward is always in contact with the other brush. Hence, the direct current flows in only in one direction in the external circuit. This is why this generator is called as DC generator. Thank you.